On the night of the 31st of May, 1902, a brutal murder that sent shockwaves through the village of Peasenhall, Suffolk, England. At the heart of this tale was Rose Harsens, a vivacious young woman of 22, known for her beauty and her beautiful voice. Why was this 6 months pregnant young woman brutally taken from the world on that fateful night? What secrets did she guard so fiercely, and who was the true father of her unborn child? It was on a fateful night when a violent storm raged, and the villagers sought refuge from the rain, that Rose received a letter from an anonymous source. The letter was unmarked, and its words would set a sinister plan into motion. "Dear Rose, I will try to see you tonight at 12 o'clock at your place. If you put a light in your window at 10 o'clock for about 10 minutes, then you can take it out again. Don't have a light in your room at 12, as I will come around to the back." Rose, entranced by the intrigue and allure of the letter, followed its cryptic instructions. At 10 p.m., she lit a single candle, casting a flickering glow in her window, a beacon for a love rendezvous shrouded in mystery. With every passing minute, the storm outside seemed to mirror the emotions building within her. Midnight drew near, and as the clock's hands inched closer and closer, Rose made her way to the back door. It was raining cats and dogs, and thunder rumbled overhead. As the clock struck midnight, Rose headed out into the rainy night. She was soaked, but her heart raced with a mix of anticipation and apprehension which excited her. She had taken a step into the unknown, drawn by the allure of the mysterious love rendezvous promised in the anonymous letter. In the darkness, she moved cautiously towards the designated meeting spot, her senses heightened by the thunder's rumble and the flashes of lightning that briefly illuminated her path. What was she thinking as she navigated through the shadows, guided only by the flickering candlelight? Did she anticipate a secret lover's embrace, or did she know who wrote the letter? As she reached the appointed location, the night's mystery took a harrowing turn. What she encountered was not a lover or an admirer hidden in the shadows. Instead, she was met with violence, a brutal and unexpected attack that would forever seal her fate. The storm bore witness to the tragic events that unfolded that night, events that shattered Peasenhall's tranquility and plunged it into a sinister tale of murder. The morning sun began to cast its light over the village of Peasenhall. The storm had passed, leaving behind the scent of rain-soaked earth in the air. As the first rays of dawn broke through the clouds, a man named William Haar, Rose's father, made his way to Providence House. He carried with him a bundle of fresh laundry, intending to visit his daughter. Entering the house through the back door, he made his way towards the kitchen. It was there, at the foot of the stairs, that he stumbled upon a scene that would forever haunt his nightmares. Rose, his beloved daughter, lay lifeless and still, surrounded by a pool of blood. She was in her nightdress, her socks soaked with blood. Rose's face bore the marks of a brutal assault, her throat slashed from ear to ear, and her chest bore the scars of multiple stab wounds. Defensive wounds on her hands suggested a valiant struggle for her life. The once lively young woman now lay in a grotesque scene of violence. But what was perhaps most chilling was the sight of an oil lamp nearby, its flickering flame extinguished by the storm. It appeared that the killer had attempted to set fire to Rose's body, as a bottle of paraffin was discovered nearby, along with evidence of burns on her arms and legs. It was as though the murderer had tried to erase the evidence of their heinous act, making it seem like she fell and hit her head and was burned alive. The village awoke to the dreadful news of Rose's murder, and Providence House became a hub of activity as authorities descended upon the scene to conduct their investigations. During the post-mortem examination of Rose's body, a startling truth emerged. Rose, the unmarried young woman who had worked diligently at Providence House, was found to have been 6 months pregnant at the time of her brutal murder. Rose had gone to great length to conceal her pregnancy, even attempting to terminate it in secret. She feared that its discovery would cost her the job she held at Providence House. Who was the father of her unborn child? Why had she chosen to keep it a secret? Did her pregnancy play a role in her murder, or was it merely a tragic coincidence? With the shocking revelation of Rose's pregnancy, the investigation into her murder took a turn. At the center of it all stood a prime suspect, William Gardner. William Gardner, a respected member of the community and a church elder, found himself under intense scrutiny. The circumstances surrounding Rose's murder pointed a finger in his direction. He was not only a prominent figure in the village, but also the owner of Providence House, where Rose had worked as a maid. The evidence against Gardner was circumstantial but compelling. It began with an anonymous letter that instructed Rose to light a candle in her window at 10 p.m. for a midnight meeting. Gardner's handwriting bore striking similarities to that found in the letter. Additionally, muddy footprints leading to and from Gardner's residence in the early hours of June 1st were traced back to him, and a sketch of these footprints matched the shoes he owned. It seemed as though he had been at the scene of the crime. Suspicion deepened when it was revealed that the envelope used for the anonymous letter had come from the seed drill works where Gardner was employed. A local gamekeeper reported seeing Gardner starting a fire near the washhouse just an hour before Rose's body was discovered. This raised questions about whether he was trying to destroy evidence. Whispers circulated that William's wife, Georgina Gardner, knew about the affair, making her a possible suspect. Perhaps the most damning piece of evidence was a penknife owned by Gardner, which had blood spatters on the hinge. While experts couldn't definitively determine whether the blood was human, Gardner claimed it was from a rabbit he had disemboweled. However, his explanation remained unverified. The evidence against Gardner was compelling, but it remained largely circumstantial, leaving room for doubt and speculation. The prosecution, led by Henry Fielding Dickens, the son of the famous novelist Charles Dickens, presented a case built on suspicion and inference. They painted Gardner as a man driven to commit murder to protect his reputation and prevent the scandal of an extramarital affair from coming to light. However, the defense vigorously sought to cast doubt on the case. They suggested an alternative suspect, Frederick James Davis, a 50-year-old balloon boy who had harbored deep affections for Rose. It was known that Davis had created beautiful balloons at Rose's request, creating a tangle of romantic intrigue. Yet, investigators had ruled out his involvement in her death. The key witness for the defense was Georgina Gardner, William's loyal wife. Even though she was a suspect herself, it seemed like William Gardner's influence hung heavy over the town. A few of the jury members were members of his church, 3 trials in all, and they couldn't convict Mr. Gardner. As the years passed, rumors had long swirled within the community of Peasenhall, suggesting that Georgina Gardner might have been involved in the murder of Rose. Georgina later admitted about knowing about their relationship and even that she was pregnant, igniting suspicions that she not only knew about the murder, but may have been the one who committed the gruesome act to protect her family's reputation. Rose Harsens' grave in Peasenhall Cemetery bore a simple yet poignant inscription, an affectionate remembrance of Rose Annie Harsens, whose life was cruelly taken on the 1st of June 1902 in her 23rd year. A light is from our household gone, a voice we loved is stilled, a place is vacant in our home that never can be filled. And so, Rose's murder remained an enduring mystery that would forever haunt the village of Peasenhall. The truth remained concealed within the secrets of the past. The mystery of Rose Harsens' murder forever etched in the annals of unsolved mysteries, a dark chapter in the history of a quiet English village.